Now I'm recording. Thank you. So with this question, y'all can see my screen, right? Okay, with this question, it says they want to understand why the company needs to change. So are they looking for an objective, a need, the elicitation activity plan, the business requirement, or do we want to go read the whole case study?
I
You
would
think you guess it?
It's
You
not
read it?
obvious from question, yeah, what should be chosen, for me at least.
Okay.
How
Anybody
about
else?
The company needs to
Yeah,
change.
let's read the case study.
Read the case study. Okay, let's read the case study. Here we go. Benedict's Moving and Transportation is an international carrier that provides residential, business, military, government, and international moving services. They offer related services such as relocation assistance, warehousing, and temporary and long-term storage. They have 9 offices throughout North America. Benedict's is extremely interested in the quality of their moving and packing services, having earned an ISO 9001-2008 certification. They have won other awards such as last year's Hauling Excellence Award and previous year's Superior Packing Award. Over 90% of their customers say they would use Benedict's again for their move. To help them stay focused on their core business and maintain their high quality, the company limits their offerings to primary moving and packing services and outsources specialty ones. For example, Benedict's performs basic packing of goods, but does not package large specialty items like pool tables for home moving or industrial equipment for their commercial services. Instead, they use third-party providers to pack up the specialty items. The income from Benedict's Moving has increased by 5 to 10% per year over the last several years. The past year or two, though, the company has been experiencing increasing cash flow problems. Their billing for services has been steadily getting later and later each year. The delays in billing mean their income is also delayed. Wanda Banks, the chief financial officer at Benedict's, is concerned about cash flow problems. Our income has never been better, yet we struggle each month with our cash flow. The first half of each month, our cash is strained until our receipts start coming in. That happened 6 out of the last 9 months and has got to be fixed. It's eating into our profits more and more. Our credit costs start increasing. It will be even worse. It will be even worse problem. I estimate that if we cut costs by just 10% across the board, we will fix this problem. Van Driver, the vice president of operations, is concerned about the CFO's cost-cutting idea. There's no way we can absorb the 10% cut right now. Labor costs are rising and so are costs for boxes, packaging, and paper. My guys are out there working hard week in and week out. We didn't get these quality awards by cutting costs. My idea is to give each crew chief an iPad to record hours and things and have the customer sign electronically. Can't we just send the moving info to accounting that way? The CIO of Benedict's is Surinder Patel, who is in favor of acquiring and installing a new ERP system like MoveSuite to help the company manage their entire process. He maintains there are several available packages with multiple components that would benefit the company. Surinder has researched one such package whose advertising claimed to offer these benefits to the company: substantial measurable increases in process efficiency through streamlined workflow, improved data integrity and consistency, reduced errors and multiple data instances, quicker learning curves through use of a standard MS Windows interface, improved accountability through record ownership and event logging, transparent transaction visibility through detailed financial reporting. The system is expensive at $750,000, but it's worthwhile investment for us, Surinder adds. So, with all that information, do we know anything more than we did before about why the company needs to change before doing anything further? What does the BE need to do or obtain first?
The business objectives.
Yeah, I would choose that too.
Okay, we've got 2 votes for business objectives. Let's show all and see what the answer is. The correct answer is business need. I want to point out that in the question it says, what does the company need to do or change before doing anything further?
I honestly thought it was business need, but thought that need was it would be too easy. So I was gonna agree with Aaron, so that sounds more official.
You
I
know
thought
what?
business need before you read everything.
I did too, but I thought that was like wrong because it sounds too easy.
It seems too easy, but it's
Yeah.
truly that easy. We have to identify what the business need before we can move further. So the business needs are an input into the analyzed current state. We haven't analyzed the current state yet. We've got to have that as an input. And the purpose of analyzed current state is to understand the reasons why an enterprise needs to change or some aspect of how it operates. So there's the needs to change here that we had to
Yeah.
pay attention to. So if you didn't get that right, read 6.1.1 and 6.1.3. Let's talk about business objectives answer. One would assume these would be helpful to have when analyzing the current state, which is what the question is asking, but the reality is they may not be known until future state definition is obtained. We don't know what the business objectives are for this project until we figure out what current state and future state are, and then we can create the objectives that are measurable. Next question on the same case study. To help understand each user's perspective better, which technique or activity would be most helpful to use? Should we create a stakeholder registry, do a cause and action identification, conduct data collection, or perform a problem analysis? We want to understand the stakeholders' perspectives better.
A, create
A.
a stakeholder register.
Yeah,
Okay.
A.
agree.
Say as well.
Okay. Let's test it. It sounds good, but there's no such input or output in the BABOK. The correct answer would be perform a problem analysis. This would be appropriate to identify the source of the problem, which would help us understand the stakeholders' perspectives. Does it make sense?
Absolutely.
So to understand their perspectives, we need to perform problem analysis. It also says you can also include a root cause analysis or a SIPOC to help understand their perspectives. And then next question on the same scenario. The CIO lists the various features and benefits of the software package he recommends. What's the next thing the BA should determine in response to the CIO? So this is in response to this very last part where he has all of these things here and we know the amount. So to respond to that, should we identify the metrics and key performance indicators? Should we identify potential value, the organizational strategy, or the business requirements?
Between B and D. I mean, I guess he
So
kind of explains the value in B.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't know. And then D, just because I'm facing this in my current life, having the requirements before buying something that expensive would be the right thing to do.
Do we even know if we need these things? I mean, it can bring us the moon, but if we don't need the moon, it's useless, right?
A potential value, maybe.
Okay. Let's test it. So close for potential value, but the BA is not ready to focus on this yet. The benefits of the software package are potentially valuable, but the benefits will have value only if they address business requirements. The CIO is actually focusing on solution requirements. He already has a solution in place. He hasn't done a root cause analysis or anything. Business requirements contain the goals, objectives, and outcomes that describe why the change has been initiated. The features and benefits of a solution do not describe that, so the BA needs to learn the business requirements before assessing the merits of a COTS package. Can anybody tell me what COTS stands for?
It's off the shelf.
Oh, the self software. Yeah.
You're right. It's commercial off the shelf. That's what it is. I've heard people just say, we're going to buy cots. And I'm like, do we need more beds? What? Didn't have a clue. Given the various stakeholder points of view, what activity or outcome would help you assess alternative potential approaches to the changes needed for the company? Should you use a business analysis approach, current state analysis, problem solving, or root cause analysis? It's asking an activity or outcome.
Maybe current state analysis.
Do I have a second vote?
How
Oh.
about C?
Probably.
I know it's
So-
out there.
Why do you like C more?
Well, they would have to. What I'm thinking is that you would like discuss with the stakeholders what is actually needed, like solving a problem or maybe root cause. Mhm.
Okay, so
the-
you like C and D.
the problem solving, you would use that technique to probably compare the approaches. The current state is just one thing. It doesn't
Mhm.
really address the different approaches. The business analysis approach doesn't address that either to me. So maybe CRD are better, but so I'm
Okay.
going. I prefer C for now.
Okay, all right, you prefer C. Irina, can you tell me why you like B?
Mm, yeah, give me a second. So we should have analysis of a current state to in order to assess any alternative approaches. So to compare versus something. That was my consideration for that.
Okay, let's
Yeah, I
test
agree.
it. See where we're at. Well, that's what I'm going to do. I've lost my mouse, guys. I'm using my trackpad. It's so much more fun. Okay,
Oh,
so the correct answer is D, root cause analysis. The business need is not yet defined as evidenced by the three perspectives represented. All three stakeholders have potential solutions, and root cause analysis would help determine the real business need. This is essential before devising a change strategy, which is what this question is driving at. So a root cause analysis would be great. A current state analysis is a early step towards devising the change strategy, but understanding the business problem and defining the business need should be done first.
okay. Yeah, and problem solving is a broad competency and a closed answer. Yeah. Oh, that's
would have had-
tricky.
Yes, it is. I would have had trouble with this too, because I would think current state analysis would help me assess potential approaches, which sounds like we've got our business needs solved, but we don't have our business needs solved. So that's where it's tricky, in my opinion. Okay, let's go to number 6. To prevent jumping to a solution, which skills would be best one for the BA to use? So these people are obviously jumping to a solution. So the skill that we would use, would it be leadership and influencing, creative thinking, industry knowledge, or problem solving? How do we get them to not jump to a solution?
You know what? I'm gonna choose the problem solving.
I like
Okay.
B, as in boy.
Okay, why do you like
Because
B?
someone may have something that they thought of that maybe the others didn't that would actually work better. Mm.
But will that prevent people from jumping to a solution?
Nope.
I would think it would be A. You're going
A.
to use leadership and
Leadership and
influence too.
influence.
Okay, let's test it.
I
Wait, hold on,
B.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Yeah,
Well,
but some.
Yes.
all right, so scroll back down. So I want to pick two. I want to pick C and D because
The
let
test
me tell,
doesn't work that way.
let me tell you, I know. We're among friends. So
Okay.
so industry knowledge would probably give you an idea of what other persons are doing to address the issue, right?
Okay.
But at the same time, if when persons share a problem and try to solve it together, they they're less likely to go off the rails, I'm assuming. But yeah, so that's it. C and D. Final.
Okay.
Hope
Okay.
I'm not that wrong.
Let's find out.
You got a 50-50 chance, I guess.
Leadership and influencing is the correct answer. The authority level of stakeholders, if fairly high and they feel strongly about their favorite solutions, it will likely take some influencing to convince them to consider alternative approaches to their favorite solution. So creative thinking would help more in determining alternative solutions that would help in guiding key stakeholders to step back and understand the underlying causes for their performance issues, but you still need to get them not to jump to a solution.
But the previous question though said the CIO was jumping to a conclude or so,
Yeah, the case study does say that every one of them have things to do. I mean, they've said we've got to cut costs by 10%, and then the next guy says we're going to give iPads to all of our team leads, and the next guy says we're going to buy an ERP.
and
They
that's
all-
in the real world that is what happens.
That's normal. Yeah, yeah.
And in
You
your
all
real
never had
world,
this.
will leadership and does that actually really work where other people? Sometimes I feel like leadership may come up with a solution. That's what we go with, kind of thing.
In some
That's why I didn't like that
companies,
answer.
in many companies, the leadership hands you something and says, here's the business case. This is what we want you to go implement. And you don't have the opportunity first to say, well, what's the real problem? But you can at that point say, okay, what's the problem this is solving and how do we measure success? And then gives them one more chance to really examine, do I really want you to go do this? Do I really want you to spend the, 6 months and 20 people on working on this thing for this success criteria?
But leadership in this context isn't a person or a position.
No,
There,
this is the
it's a skill,
competency.
and so it doesn't matter if you are over someone or where you're at. It's your
Oh,
ability
I
to
see.
Yes,
be a
yes.
leader.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
exactly.
you.
So on the test, when they say skill, are they always referring to like the communication skills and interaction
The-
skills,
The
Baba?
underlying competencies, probably. Actually, the
But
test
then-
isn't going to say which skill, probably. I would be surprised if it did. I don't remember it being there.
Because I
So-
notice problem solving is under like a core competency versus a skill.
I would say that the underlying competencies are going to be called skills. So if you're looking at what ability, what training might you have had, things like that, it's going to probably be underlying competencies.
Okay.
Okay, next. Which of the following describes the common non-functional requirements category? So these are the categories. They all have reliability. These two have compatibility. These two have, this one has readability. This one has availability. They all have scalability, localization, traceability, and dependability.
Non-function.
So scalability and reliability can be excluded. It's in all answers. Compatibility, localization.
So you don't like these two?
No, I mean that reliability and scalability are mentioned in all answers.
Oh, yes, yes,
We
they
can
are
ignore
mentioned
them.
in each-
Yeah.
yes. We don't need to consider them. So compatibility, readability, availability, or compatibility. Can we eliminate any of those?
Compatibility, D. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't know what dependability is.
Yeah, so D we can eliminate.
Is traceability the thing where we ensure that the things map back to the business objectives?
Right. So that doesn't really describe the solution, right?
Dependability,
So, Irina, you said you don't remember dependability. What about the system must be available 95% of the time between Monday and Friday, 8 to 5? Is that dependability or is that something else?
That's availability.
availability.
Availability. Okay, very good. I will mark these two out. So compatibility or readability are the last two if we eliminate those two.
I've never seen localization as a non-functional, but it could be. It could be.
Oh no.
Localization is normally making the software match the location you're in. So like if like currency, where the decimal points are, and what else? Yeah, and the date format possibly for localization. I don't know what readability is.
Do you feel like that would be a non-functional requirement?
I think it. I think is. I'd pick it.
Maybe C. I don't know.
Maybe C.
Availability and traceability looks better.
Okay, let's test it and see what the answer is. Okay.
Oh, I got one right. Finally.
Okay, reliability, compatibility, scalability, and localization. And then there's 11 other categories. I encourage you to read them in their definitions before you go take the test.
Yeah.
Visavi has been contracted as the lead business analyst on a new initiative. She wants to create an internal stakeholder list. What would be a good starting point? Would that be the project management office, governing bodies that may influence the project, existing business processes, or existing vendor or supplier contracts that may be in place?
C.
Did you say B?
C. C.
C,
Yeah.
existing business
C.
processes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's test it.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Existing business processes and a company's organizational chart are cited as initial sources for identifying internal stakeholders. Very good. What is the business model canvas? A process that describes the rationale for requirements, a technique that describes the rationale for requirements, a model that describes the requirements in picture form, or a business modeling tool for drawing pictures, like an Etch-a-Sketch.
Definitely eliminate D.
Okay.
Model.
So is it a process, a technique, or a model?
It's technique, I think. It's one of 50 techniques.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a technique.
And you are correct. It is a technique that describes the rationale for requirements. The BABOK poses basic questions that are answered as the BA navigates through the requirements and design cycle. What is the order of the 4 questions in which they are processed during the design cycle? So I think it's asking for the tasks. What are the needs? What are the conditions? Why do I want it? And what do I want? Why do I want it? What are the needs? What do I want? And what are the conditions? What are the needs? Why do I want it? What do I want? And what are the conditions? Or why do I want it? What are the needs? What are the conditions? And what do I want? Which one should come first, guys?
Why?
Why?
Do I want it? What is
I
in
think what goes first.
what? Yeah.
So is it what are the needs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then what are the conditions or why do I want it?
Why do I want it?
Okay. And then what do I want and what are the conditions at the end?
Yeah.
Let's test it.
Let's start with why.
The 4 questions correspond to the first business, then stakeholder, then solution, then transition requirements. So first the business, why do I want it? Then what are the needs? Because why do I want it will lead you to what are the needs? You know, what is the problem I want to solve? What is this? What are the symptoms? What are the why do I want it? And then what's causing those symptoms? You go back to the need. And then what do I want? And what are the conditions? So that is the business, the stakeholder business requirements, stakeholder requirements, solution requirements, and then transition requirements. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I've never seen this question before, so it must be brand new. They're adding new things to us.
Mhm.
Kevin wants to model the rationale or the why of a particular change. Which technique might he use to accomplish this task? So it's the why, the rationale, or the why. Is this scope modeling, process modeling, stakeholder list map and personas, or user stories? Can we eliminate any?
Maybe C.
That's not going to help us with identifying the why of a change, is it? It's
No.
going to tell us who's involved. I mean, we document who's involved, but that's not going to tell us this.
So maybe user story is the right
Stories?
answer.
Yeah, user story.
Yeah.
So as a user, I want to so that, and so that answers question why.
Let's test it.
Yeah. Scope.
So the correct answer is scope modeling. This is one of the techniques used in the rationale modeling category, which models the why of the change. I heard a good analogy about scope, and I don't remember if I shared this with y'all or not, so I'm going to share it with you again if I didn't. Fabricio was telling a story about a friend of his who built a house, and they came in and he gave all of the people that were going to be involved, he said, I gave them a stake. They were stakeholders. They each held their stake, and they each walked walked out to the edge of where they thought the property should be to include the things that they wanted in the property, you know, a beautiful little pond or a tree, and they walked out and they created the scope with their stakes. They created their scope boundaries with their stakes. And I thought that was such a cool way to do it because it identifies the scope of the project, and that is the rationale or the why right there with their scopes, with their stakes.
It's a good analogy.
I like that analogy because it's so visual. At the same time, I wouldn't give people stakes to decide on the property I'm going to build my house on, but you know, it's a story. Okay, Kathy is a new BA who asked you to review a business case she developed before she submits it for review and approval. The business case outlines a compelling change strategy and contains rigorous financial feasibility analysis for the recommended solution. Question 1. You tell Kathy that while her recommendation is compelling, something critical is missing. What is it? So is she missing the evaluation criteria for the recommended strategy, opportunity costs related to the other change strategies, financial analysis of other change strategies, or an implementation plan to prove feasibility?
maybe opportunity cost related to other change strategies. It's not
Okay.
mentioned in the description.
It's not in there at all.
She doesn't have anything to compare it to.
Yeah, so we don't have alternatives.
Right. Okay, let's test it. Each change strategy should include a cost and benefits in order to determine the feasibility. Very good.
Mhm.
And what rationale do you give, Kathy, for the criticality of the missing information? Stakeholder needs to understand what benefits they are deferring for other change strategies. She has to provide evidence that she's thought through how a recommended strategy will be evaluated once deployed. Stakeholders need to believe the recommended strategy is doable or feasible given their resource constraints. Or stakeholders need to understand options considered and rejected to support their decision-making process.
I'm leaning on
I
D.
would say D, yeah.
You guys got it.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
is correct.
we had this, right? In the past.
I don't know, but you got it right. Guys, if you're getting these right, you're going to get them right on the test because the test is so much more based on scenarios. It's like, I know what to do in this case. What are the key types of relationships that the business analyst considers when defining the traceability approach? Key types of relationships and traceability. Is it business value, depends, scalability, and validate? Is it derive, depends, satisfy, and validate? Is it deliver, bidirection, analysis, effort, necessity, backwards compatibility? Or is it effort, depends, necessity, bidirectional approach, and value? Let's eliminate some.
C.
Yeah, I don't like C either. That was weird.
Can we eliminate D
Yeah.
because of what's in it that stinks?
Necessity. It's, I don't know, what is the relation to traceability approach?
You're bidirectional.
Okay. Bidirectional approach is not a thing. How about C?
Backwards compatibility.
Let's see.
Deliver. No, not really. I would eliminate it too.
Okay. Okay. How about B?
Satisfy. Can
I
be.
like A. I don't know if it's right, but it looks nicer to me than
You like business
derive.
value, depends, scalability, and validate for the answer?
Yeah, if I just guess, yes. I don't like derive, but I mean, I don't like the way that.
Derive from. I would go for B, to be honest.
Okay. Tell me why.
Because derive from, it's about traceability too. And then it depends on satisfies what and validates what. So I see traceability in every word mentioned.
In each term? Okay, let's test it and see what we get. Okay. So these are accurate for types of relationships in traceability approach. Depends and validate are the only two that are applicable here. Scalability is not, and business value is not. But you were correct.
Irina, you're very convincing, Irina.
Sometimes I use my best guess. I don't remember everything from Babok.
Okay, let's move on. What are the inputs into the solution evaluation knowledge area? So this is the whole knowledge area. What do we need to have as inputs into this knowledge area? Implemented solution external, future state description, business objectives, realized value. Solution performance measures, enterprise limitations, solution limitations, recommended actions. implemented solutions external, current state description, business objectives, potential value, or implemented solution external, recommended actions, potential value, solution performance analysis. So into solution evaluation, because it's solution evaluation, what must we have?
Implemented solution external for sure. So we can eliminate B,
Okay,
which doesn't have it. I don't remember between future state and current state description if we evaluated business objectives.
the focus of solution evaluation is evaluating a current problem.
Current solution, then C. Yeah, current state description, business objectives, and potential value. Yeah, C.
Let's test it. And we are correct. Irina is correct. You guys got to speak up. She's making y'all look like you don't care.
Okay, I will keep silent.
I don't know if that's the only solution that could happen. What are the outputs of trace requirements? So is it designs traced, constraints traced, requirements, or needs traced?
So designs and requirements traced, but if we don't have traced for C, so then A.
Yeah. Okay, let's test it. This is one of the outputs of trace requirements. Constraints are not traced. This one's close, but it does not say traced at the end. Critical thing for it to say. So trace requirements, you end up with your designs traced and your requirements traced. Those are your two outputs. You're a business analyst working on a regulatory project. The lead business analyst asks you to prioritize requirements in order to meet the regulatory demands imposed on the organization over other stakeholder interests. What factor is influencing this prioritization? So prioritize in order to meet the regulatory demands. Is this risk, governance, time sensitivity, or penalty?
Penalty.
Penalty?
Yeah. Financial. Yeah.
Penalty is a prioritization factor that speaks to the consequences from not implementing a given requirement. I like penalty. It just sounded like it should be pronounced that way.
How to pronounce this correctly? Because I'm not a native speaker.
You know, penalty is the right way to pronounce it. I was messing it up. My brain gets creative sometimes and surprises me and everybody else. Which set represents the attributes of the items recorded for tracking? Attributes of items recorded for tracking. Item identifier, summary, category, type, date, identified. Identified by, impact, prioritization, resolution date, owner, resolver, agreed strategy, status, resolution updates, structures, and escalation matrix. So this is an item tracking document, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this one has the same things, except this one has metrics.
Date, resolution.
So A, C, and D are all the same, except A has structure.
Uh-huh. This one has summary. This one has metrics.
Yeah.
Summary.
Summary and summary. So this one has metrics. What's different about the rest of them?
Escalation.
They all have escalation. Evaluation is added on D and summary is added on.
Identifier.
Okay.
I mean, not summary. Structure is added on A.
Summary.
This is missing something because this one is longer.
Mm-hmm.
This one has something here. Date identified by.
Yeah, structure is on A and D has evaluation. That's why they're a little bit longer.
Okay.
So
So which one would we choose if you were creating the item tracking document? We don't need metrics, do we?
No.
Okay.
I'm leaning towards D, but
Yeah. Most of all, yeah.
Why do we like D?
So they have an interesting logic. If, for example, like all answer contain like summary and one matrix, looking at their logic, so B should be eliminated, even if you don't know the answer.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Yeah, then if you choose then next comparison, so evaluation, so it's only in D. Do you want to go with evaluation? If we don't, then we eliminate D and then look at C and A.
Okay. So do we want evaluation in the item tracking? Is that a column that's really going to help you?
Not really.
Okay.
I think it might be C because
Then this one has structure in it and this one doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I love structure. I would probably go with C.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's test it. Structure is not an attribute.
Let's see.
You're correct. Evaluation is not attributes. Metric is not an attribute, and summary is missing on this list. So this is what you would put together if you were creating an item tracking document in the Babok world. In the real world, you put together whatever you need. But I also always suggest that you do a date identified, who provides it, last update, what next steps are, the criticality of leaving it out. Those are all important things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another case study. Let's check this question. What is the best description of Jason's summary of the case study? Jason's summary of the case study is at the bottom. Is it? No, it's right here. Case study summarized by Jason. It's right here. He says Swift mortgage applications require on average 45 days to process. The industry average is 30 days. This delay increases the number of abandoned loans by 5%, creating a potential loss of $10,000 of revenue per loan for closing costs, or $1.2 million per year. Additional costs are incurred if the customer locked in an interest rate at the time of their application. Now the interest rates are going up. There's an estimated additional cost of $25,000 dollars per interest per 30-year loan, or an estimated $2 million per year. So this is his case study. Is this solution performance measures? Is this a problem statement? Is this cause identification? Or is this data collection?
Problem statement.
I would agree with that.
I got lots of nods on that one. This is a problem statement. The summary spells out the problem and its impacts. While no examples are cited, the Babok mentions problem statements in the technique's root cause analysis. But y'all recognize problem statements. Okay, next question. We'll probably have to read it. Given the distance between two major stakeholders in the case study, Jason fears the decision-making may be a challenge. What can he do to establish how decisions are made concerning requirements, approvals, and priorities? So it gives us some options here. The options are: define an appropriate way to conduct business analysis activities and communicate it. Develop an approach for creating and maintaining smoother relationships with stakeholders. Ensure business analysis governance process is created and communicated, or work with a project manager to establish an escalation plan for resolving conflicts with approving requirements and setting priorities. Do you want to, let's read the case study, or can you figure out the answer from this?
How decisions are made is governance process is created and communicated.
Okay, you like that one?
That's where I was leaning.
Okay, let's test it. Ensure business analysis governance process is communicated and is created and communicated. The answer describes the purpose of this task, plan business analysis governance, and it correctly addresses the question. It defines how decisions are made throughout the initiative, and if consensus is not reached, what are the escalation paths and who has final authority to address any potential issues referred to in the question. I gotta tell y'all guys, I've spent a lot of years as a business analyst having no clue that this was an option. I was just dealing with everything that came along, but I was so excited whenever it's like, oh, we can do this at the beginning before everybody gets, conflicted or engaged and say, okay, we made this decision at the beginning. This is what we're going to do. It made life a whole lot nicer. Okay, I think this one we got to read it, but let's ask. A fishbone diagram in the case study reveals a number of potential root causes. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to copy this into chat. And I think you can actually click on it and see it, all of it, in a way that I can't show it all to you here. So it's in your chat right now. You can click on it and open it. Which of the following questions might be most relevant to help the team get closer to the root cause? So I'm going to open it up here. Let's see, we can see it all. We've got people, process, measurements, and systems. In people, we've got siloed functions and inadequate information shared. And in processes, we've got manual process and serial verification procedure and inefficient verification processes. In systems, we have limited automation because of lack of security and limited budget. And in measurements, we have measure only complete cycle time. So with that information in hand, let's move that aside. Which one of these questions would be best to help us figure out, be most relevant to help the team get closer to the root cause? Is it, why do we only measure complete cycle time? Why are the functions siloed? Why do we have a limited budget? Or why do we need serial verification processes? So the background of this question is this. Some of these things you can't address in your project. Why do we only have a limited budget? You can't address that in your project. That's not going to help to ask the question. You're just going to churn up emotions. The functions being siloed, is that something you can really address in your project? Maybe, maybe not. So does anybody understand what measuring complete cycle time means?
I actually like that one the best because we're not really seeing where the problem is if we're looking at the whole thing instead of breaking it down to see where else, like where the problem could be. It may not be, you know what I mean? Like it's like instead of looking at like the big picture, we have to see which part of that cycle is maybe causing the delays or making it too slow.
That's good reasoning. Let's talk about this one. Why do we need serial verification processes? I'm sorry, yeah, processes. It says serial verification procedures up here. And that gives inefficient verification processes. Is that a concern?
Can be, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's test it and see which one is right. Okay, so for measuring complete cycle time, data collection is more helpful for measuring the nature and magnitude of the problem's effects than it is for discovering the root cause. And for serial verification, this is a useful line of questioning since it could lead to the understanding of the root cause of slow verifications. Since process issues appear on the diagram several times, it's most likely a source of a cause because we have the process problems. We've got manual process, procedure, process here. So you may have problems there. Does everyone understand why this is the best answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, next. As the project progresses, Jason is diligent about recording requirements relationships. As he's adding some functional requirements to his repository, he wants to note their relationships to the business objective of reducing processing time to 30 days. What type of relationship would Jason need to record? So the requirements are related to the business objectives. Is that validate, satisfy, derive, or depends?
Validate.
Validate.
Do you like validate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Testing validate. Validate is the relationship between the requirement and the test case. It's always the requirement looking forward to the test case. Derive is always the business need to the business requirement, to the technical requirement, to the solution requirement, to the transition requirement. I mean, it goes all the way through that way, but it always goes from the top down. So for a requirement to be matched back to the business need, it's always going to be derive. I had the picture given to me of a chain hanging, and you start with the business need, and you go down to the business requirement, and you go down to the solution, and you just work your way through until you get to the test. I'll go on through satisfy. A satisfy relationship is between a functional requirement and a solution component. And then depends happens when one requirement depends on another requirement, such as when only one makes sense to implement if another one is also implemented. This is the example I gave y'all of having they have to pick a child before they can pick the color of their eyes. You don't do the color of their eyes unless they have the child, but it only makes sense if that's done. Or one requirement makes it easier to implement another. For instance, we're going to update the database to add this other column because it's going to make the future join better to be able to move on in the project. Okay. So it's 8 o'clock. We have 30 minutes left. I'd like to switch gears just a little bit and talk about filling out your applications and making your date. Several of you have already done that. I want to just cover some things with you. If anybody wants to talk about the experience you had, I'd like for you to speak up. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but I will tell you that I did have one of my students come back and she said, if you signed up with the IIBA and then got your name changed, got married, added something to your name, changed your name or anything, what is on your driver's license or your government issued ID has to match what is on the IIBA. Or you will get to the testing center and they will say, sorry, you're not the person that we expected. We need this name. So be sure you have the right name on that. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about the application or the scheduling or the test experience or anything else? Do you feel like you know what you're doing now? Ask questions because somebody else may have the same question and just be afraid to ask. So how many people have gotten your application approved? Submitted? Okay. You're still working on it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Stephen.
I was just saying I got mine approved.
It got approved. Awesome. Did they check all your references or did it come back within like 15 minutes?
It just went through and then I just registered. So I emailed all my contacts just to let them know that I can get audited. They may be contacted, but yeah, it just approved it and I just went to the next step.
Okay, very good. So you got it scheduled, right?
Yeah, so in about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Very
try
good.
to.
You're going to be awesome. Okay. Is anybody else struggling with your application? Or do you feel like you've got it under control? Okay. Does anybody have any questions about actually going to take the test? You feel like you got that? I mean, we've talked about it a few times, but there's always things that I might have missed.
I need more
Okay.
practicing, I think.
We'll do more practicing. Okay. If anybody has any other questions, you're free to contact me on LinkedIn and I'll do what I can to help. When identifying stakeholders and selected elicitation techniques for requirements elicitation, which of the following best describes the relationship between the two? So we're identifying stakeholders and selecting elicitation techniques. So we're in requirements elicitation section, aren't we? The relationship between the two, identifying stakeholders and then figuring out the elicitation techniques for them. There is no relationship. You may select the elicitation techniques you prefer before identifying your stakeholders. The relationship between the two depends upon the project approach and the context associated with the business need. Identify stakeholders involved in the change and then select elicitation techniques suited to them, or only identify stakeholders who have the availability to participate in elicitation, then select elicitation techniques suited to them.
Maybe
Which one do y'all think is right?
C.
B.
Okay. And C is correct. This answer aligns with BABOK guidance. We align our elicitation techniques to the stakeholders selected. And I hate D because, of course, the stakeholders that have the answers are the busy ones. They're not available. So it doesn't matter if they're available or not. You get the stakeholders that have the answers. And sometimes you get the stakeholders who can influence positive project outcome. You know, it's like, hey, Bob was on it. That means it's got to be good. Let's all go use it. You know, that's ideal. For any change, BAs need to create and foster trusting relationships with stakeholders. How can we best do that? Identify levels of decision-making authority regarding the processes affected by the change. Learn which stakeholders have negative attitudes toward the change. Understand the influence structure and channels among stakeholders, or use organizational modeling to understand the relationship stakeholders have with each other. We need to create and foster trusting relationships with stakeholders. So which one are we going to do?
I would say C.
C.
Kind of go back to that previous question. Like what Aaron was talking about, you know, having that influence.
And C is correct. Understanding the nature of influence and the influence structure and channels within an organization can help you build stakeholder relationships and trust, as well as develop strategies for obtaining buy-in and collaboration. 25. Anka is a BA who's getting pressure from her management about obtaining the approval for solution requirements. The business requirements have been signed off on and the solution has been chosen. Annika has met with her director to educate him on why it's inappropriate at this time to review the solution since she's not finished her technical requirement specification. Once she has the document completed, she will review it with the management team. What approach should Annika preferably take? Should she inform her project manager of the situation so they can address any potential issues together? Create a presentation of the high-level functionality delivered by the solution and present it to stakeholders for approval. Inform her manager of the pressure she's receiving so they can address any potential issues, or explain why her approach is the correct one and ask for patience. According to the BABOK, what should she do?
D is gonna get Anika fired.
Well, I've heard it done. So should
Well,
he?
maybe.
So
Which
B.
one?
No, I said, well, I guess maybe I had to get through to like ask somebody to be patient, but
Yeah. Well, they're pressuring her, so they're not being patient.
So I would go for B.
B as in boy?
Yeah, bravo.
Okay, let's test it. And you're right. Understand your stakeholder needs is important when putting together a requirements package. Anika's management has specific need that she can meet, and she already has the information. All she has to do is put together the level of information appropriately for her intended audience. They're her management. Typically, they want it fast and easy. Okay, guys, we've gone through 25.
Can you look up to the top of the question,
I can.
please? Okay. Thank you.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about dates. Let me share this screen. Let's talk about dates. So today is the 24th. We are planning on continuing this class for probably 4 more weeks. So through, say, the 21st or 28th of August. Does anybody feel like you need us to continue beyond that? We can if you need us to. Does it?
That's me in a couple weeks.
Stephen, you got 3 weeks. After that, you're probably going to be like all my other students. It's like, I took the test, I passed, I'm out of here. Why would I come back, right?
Hopefully,
I
Of
have my
course.
subscription
sounds good.
until 13th August for this
Okay.
watermark. So this is my deadline.
Okay. All right. So you're going to have you're scheduling your test in here somewhere then, right?
Around mid-August, I think. Yeah.
Mid-August sometime. Okay. Michelle, do you have an idea when you're going to schedule your test?
I can't till October, so I haven't
Okay.
even scheduled it yet.
Okay.
But if I had a choice, probably October 1st, because I just want to get it done with.
Get it done. Right. Do you have the luxury of getting the watermark study that we've been using? The online test?
I think that we had spoke. I think some of us have tried. Yeah, I can do it, but I think some of us have tried like the 30-day or something like that.
Okay.
So I'll do it when it gets closer.
Okay. Very good. Remember, let me share the other screen. Let me move this down and do this and then do this and go back to select exam. So yeah, I can go this way. Okay, so whenever you first sign in, I note that they have made the changes. Let me make it smaller. They've made the changes for the ECBA changes. So that's cool that they're doing that. But whenever you sign in, if you go to subscribe and you put in your information and you hit new subscription, it's not going to let me do it. Let me do it this way. Now subscribe. Okay, you put in your information here. So a 90-day subscription is going to be the 30-day price with the Tampa 21 discount.
That's
So
right.
you can have 90 days for the $99. And I'll drop in the chat the discount code.
Thank you.
And I think that's on the 3rd screen or something like that. It says discount code or coupon code or something like that. But that gives you 90 days, and 90 days will take you almost to October. So,
Okay, yeah.
okay. And Aaron, you need to wait till then as well, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
I'm like Michelle, as soon as October hits.
I'm taking that puppy. All right. Okay.
I'm just
let's
curious,
see.
people that have the watermark, Irina, you said you have it. Have you done a complete exam, and like where are you scoring on the full exam?
Yeah, now it's 60% only. I tried once, not enough.
What is the breakdown amongst the different knowledge areas?
Oh, I have a screenshot. So guys. I will find it and share with you.
Oh, you don't have to. I'm just, if you have a specific knowledge area, you can focus on that while you're taking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I do. And
Okay.
I started reading Babok.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense because a lot of questions are really very theoretical, and if you don't know the answer, so it's just best guess.
Whenever you get one wrong, if you will go to the Babok and like put the post-it note, I've got to study this. It
Yeah.
laser focuses you down on the things that you know are gaps instead of the whole book. It makes it so much nicer to say, I've got 4 sections to study instead of I've got things in 3 different chapters.
Yeah, that's true. So I
Okay.
try different options, like to combine chapters, to do it separately, to do all exam.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Javon, when are you planning on taking your test? I think you had told me that you're going to be taking it pretty soon. Is that correct?
Right now it's looking like October.
Okay, October. Well, several of you are October. Richard, are you planning on taking your test this year?
Yeah, near the end of the year, because rugby put a crink in my studying, so.
Guys, this guy teaches kids how to play rugby. He coaches
That's
rugby.
cool.
It is so cool.
Yeah, youth rugby.
Yep, it's very cool. Okay, so let's plan on continuing this class for the next 4 weeks. That way we've got 4 more weeks. That will get most of y'all up to your test date. I'm sorry. I would love to keep going until October and get the rest of y'all there, but I am getting tired. So I bet you are too. So let's do that.
Thanks for all you do, Thea.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm going to tell you beginning in August, so not next week, but the week after that, we're starting a brand new thing with Tampa Bay that we're going to take teams through SDLC, and they're actually going to make a software project. And I don't think we realized what we were getting ourselves into, because I had this big, great idea, and then we started doing it. We've got 76 people, guys.
No.
We're going to have 6 teams doing probably at least 4 different software projects. And we're coordinating tools so that they have real tools to use. We're coordinating mentors. I'm going to probably be a little brain dead during those in August. I'll do the best I can though. But I'm just letting you know. I know that I don't think any of y'all signed up for the SDLC. You have other things to do. But it's going to be coming up beginning in August, and that's going to go all the way through mid-October. So it's going to be great. They're going to get good experience out of it. We're going to do the analysis of what they learned, what they thought they knew before they started to what they know now at the end. So we'll be able to show the statistical improvement for each of them. But there's always are they going to show up every week? And do we have permission to record them? You know, we had 5 people say you can't record me. And I'm like, well, we're recording the event. How do we not record you? You know? So I have I'm doing evening meetings almost every night with my team we figured out we're going to send out 80 emails by the end of this. 80 different emails, not to 80 different people, 80 different emails.
Wow.
You know, the reminder emails and the here's the meeting recording, the part that we could record, and you know, everything. So I'm not telling you this to whine. I'm just telling you this. I've got this big thing coming up, and I feel like it might impact y'all, and I want you to understand. Again, if y'all have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm on there literally every single day. Maybe not at the time that you send me the message, but I'll get back to you probably within the same day. Okay.
Yeah, I have a question about the watermark thing. I'm also studying for the AAC. When you sign up, do you only have to pick one, or do you have the option to view questions for others?
I think that you could only pick one with each thing, because I think they're different prices. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. I mean, it would be They wouldn't make much money, right? If they gave the
That's
option
true.
to select all.
That's true. If you could select all of them and go, no, they probably wouldn't. So it's probably one at a time.
Okay.
But the AAC will make more sense now that you've studied the BABOK. I always tell
Yeah,
people
it
the
definitely
BABOK is your foundation, and then you can build on top of it with the others. And the others don't take as long. What are they, 150 pages or something like that?
Yeah, it's not long. It
And
actually
so-
it's making so much more sense to me. It's more
Good.
realistic, I guess, to me.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just checked the prices are different for that one.
Bluegrass has a training coming up if you want to participate in a study group. Their study group isn't okay, I'm gonna say it. Their study group isn't as good as my study group. But I don't offer those study groups. I focus on the CBAP because it's the hardest and people feel like they're lost on the island. And so we do it this way.
Yeah.
Nobody else does 6 months. Nobody. And here we are. Y'all know we started this in what, February? I don't know.
End of February, yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness. It feels like we're family now, you know? Anyway. Okay, again. Oh, if y'all haven't nominated people for Volunteer of the Year, please do. Those people, I'm not saying me. There's lots of people out here who are members of the IIBA, and if you're a member of the IIBA, you can volunteer. You can nominate people for volunteer and just recognize the work that they've done. So, you know, sometimes that's the only things that they get, and I think I'm good, but you know, you probably know some people. Aaron, if Michelle has helped you study, maybe you can nominate Michelle. I mean, you know, that kind of thing. All right.
She never helps me study.
Never. She gives me the
She's
wrong
like, get
answers.
lost. I'm studying. Stop bugging me.
I'm going to have PTSD after this.
When I'm
Okay.
done with my pretty Canva thing, I'll give it to you, Aaron.
Michelle, I want you to give us a Canva tutorial on how to do these cool things that I keep hearing. Michelle knows how to do that. I'm like, I need to
We'll
learn
need a
from
whole hour and a half because I will have so much fun.
Well, I tell you what, you set up your own meeting on a Saturday night or a Wednesday night or something, and we can see about it, okay?
All right, sounds good. I do everything
Yep.
on there. I've planned my Disney trip on there. All my
That's cool.
presentations I do on there. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's
I'll do
very
that.
cool. I can do some stuff that's impresses me, but then it's like I don't know what I don't know. So yeah, we need to learn.
Will do.
Okay, guys. Thank y'all. Have a good evening.
Wait, one
Thanks,
sec.
Thea.
Thank you. You too.
Where do you sign up for the SDLC thing?
Let's see. Is that the one the Bluegrass is doing? Let me see. I gotta figure out which screen I'm on and which presentation I'm on. And the Bluegrass is doing Bluegrass is doing the product ownership study group. That one's the one that's starting on the 29th. And you go to the Bluegrass chapter's website to do that. Bluegrass IIBA.
So hold on. That's
He
the
was
same
asking about the SDLC.
SD.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood. The SDLC thing, we filled up our participants in 24 hours. We are full up to the gills.
Okay.
We're thinking about if we survive this and if we can, we already have lessons learned. We might do it in the future as a 3 Saturday event, like 4 hours a day for 3 Saturdays and let people get SDLC experience there. But we got to survive this one first.
Okay, all right.
All right. We really do think it's going to be good because we've got mentors that are really experienced that are going to come in and be embedded product owners in each team. And then other people, like we've got a developer who had his CBAP, he let it lapse. He's going to come in and be a developer on one of the teams. And real people who have real experience. And they can say, as a project manager, you need to be doing this. We're giving them instructions that they're going to be able to read. I need to do this thing. Oh, let me figure out how to get it done. But their self-directed teams are going to be using Kanban Agile. I think it's going to be a good thing. Sorry about misunderstanding your question.
It's
Okay,
gonna be a
guys.
great thing.
It's going to be a great thing. Thank you, Richard. Okay, y'all have a good evening.
All right, good night.
Thanks.
Bye.
Are you too?
Bye.